Welcome to this video. It is intended to show you how to enroll in Psych 320 Lecture and Lab, as well as Psych 321 Lecture and Lab. This video is intended for psychology major students who are required to take these two classes. Psych 320 Lecture and Lab and Psych 321 Lecture and Lab, these are courses that fulfill your upper division core courses. First things first, you should know that Psych 320 Lecture and Lab requires you to be junior standing in order to get started on it, meaning you have to have 60 units earned at least in order to be able to get into these classes. If you have 59 or less, know that the system will not let you enroll in these courses. Consult with your academic advisor if you're a little confused about that, but know that you have to be junior senior standing in order to be able to be eligible to enroll in Psych 320 Lecture and Lab and eventually Psych 321 Lecture and Lab. Now, Psych 320 Lecture and Lab is a prerequisite for 321 Lecture and Lab. Prerequisite basically means that you are required to take Psych 320 Lecture and Lab first in order to be eligible to take Psych 321 Lecture and Lab. These courses will be completed in separate semesters. However, in the same semester, you will be required to complete Psych 320 Lecture and Lab, and in another semester, you will complete Psych 321 Lecture and Lab. The lecture and the lab must go together in the same semester. The lecture is 3 units. The lab is 1 unit, okay? Same goes for 321, lecture and lab. Now, on to enrolling in these classes. First things first, we want to go ahead and log into the portal. If you don't have access to your portal, you can go to CSUN.edu. You want to go to My CSUN at the top left-hand corner of the page, and you'll click on CSUN Portal. Once you log in, you want to make sure you click on Enroll in Classes. This will lead you to your shopping cart page. On the shopping cart, you want to go to the search button over here. Always make sure that the term reflects the semester you are enrolling in. Session, it should say regular. And to find Psych 320 or 321, we need to go to subject/department and look up psychology department. Once we have selected psychology for subject/department, we're going to leave additional category completely blank. We want to check this box to show open classes only, meaning it'll filter out any classes that are full, so it'll only show classes that have availability for the semester you are enrolling in. And this checkbox over here, it is completely based on your personal choice. I personally like to uncheck it so that way my results are a little cleaner, okay? But it is up to you. But once you've made these selections, go ahead and click on Quick Search. We are going to find Psych 320 or 321, depending on where you are at in your process. If you have not completed any of these courses, you want to start off with Psych 320. If you already completed Psych 320, then you actually want to move on to Psych 321. And so the process will be very similar for both courses. So I'm going to use Psych 320 as an example. We want to click on the green arrow for the lecture, okay? You can tell this is a lab because it says L. Same goes for Psych 321. So for the lecture, we want to go ahead and click on the green arrow. It'll present us with the options that are still available because we checked this box. And so you want to identify the lecture that works best with your schedule. So in my example, I'm going to pretend that this one happens to better suit my schedule. The next step, once you identify the lecture that works for you, is to go to the detail page. So in the detail column, there's a little icon over here. You want to click on this little icon and it leads us to the class detail page. Over here, we want to simply look at the notes section. Now, I do want to point out, look at this. It says enrollment limited to juniors and seniors, meaning you have to have earned at least 60 units in order for the system to allow you to enroll in this class, okay? But above this statement, we have concurrent enrollment required in Psych 320L. So for Psych 320 lecture and 321 lecture, there are specific labs that are compatible with each lecture. And so we need to come here to the detail page to identify what are the specific labs being offered for the semester you're enrolling in that are compatible with the specific lecture you have chosen. And so for this particular lecture that I have selected, the labs that work with it are these class numbers here. So you'll notice there are 5-digit numbers. This is what we call class number. Class number, think of it as the ID number of these labs. It's a way to identify the specific labs taught at a particular time by a particular professor in a particular location. And so you want to take note of those 5-digit number class numbers because these are the ones that we will be looking up to enroll in to make sure that the system will allow us to. If you choose some random lab that is not compatible with the lecture, the system will not let you enroll. And so to be able to make this as smooth as possible, we want to write these down. And the number of labs can vary. You know, some lectures may have 5 compatible labs, whereas this one has 3 because we have 3 class numbers listed here. Once you write these down, you want to return either by clicking on this button at the bottom of the page or at the top, it doesn't matter. It brings us back to this page here, and we want to proceed to add the lecture that we have chosen to our shopping cart. So we're going to click on this little plus sign here for enroll. It'll lead us to this page with more information about the class. If you missed the opportunity to write down the class numbers for the compatible labs, it gives you another opportunity here. And you can click next. And just like that, you add the lecture to your shopping cart. Now, in order to enroll in Psych 320, we must have, and same goes for 321, but in order to enroll in these lectures, we must have the compatible lab added to the shopping cart along with the lecture in order for the system to let us enroll in these courses. Because if you try to enroll in just the lecture right now, you're going to notice that the system will give you an error message. It's not going to let you enroll. And so we must have the lab also in the shopping cart with the lecture in order for us to be able to proceed. So the numbers that we wrote down, I'm going to type in the first 5-digit number that we had there in the detail page for the lecture. So once you type this up in the enter class number text box here to the left, we're going to select enter. It'll lead us to information page for the lab, and we want to click next. Just like that, it adds the lab to our shopping cart. Now, one thing to note, this class under the status column, it gives us a little triangle. This means that you would be placed on a wait list. However, this is misinformation. Know that you cannot waitlist yourself in a class that has a co-requisite. These are co-requisites because you must take these 2 courses together. And so, because these courses need to be taken together, and same goes for 321 with the lab, the system will not let you waitlist yourself. Therefore, in this case, although it gives us a triangle as if we can waitlist ourselves, know that this means it is full. Therefore, we cannot take this lab. So I cannot try to enroll in this lab just because the system won't let us. But what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the second option of a lab that was listed within the detail page for the lecture. Click enter and next. Just like that, we have the lecture in the lab. And look at that. In the status column, we have a beautiful green circle, which indicates that both the lecture and the lab are open. Therefore, the system will allow us to enroll in these 2 courses because they are compatible with each other. We are junior, senior standing in this example, right? 60 units earned. And we have a green circle for the status. Now, another recommendation is each lab tends to be at a different time. So if you really want to explore all of your options, you can go ahead and add all of the labs that are compatible with the lecture that you've chosen. So I'm going to add my last one here. And you can compare the days and times, and look at that. This one is from 4:30 to 5:20, whereas this one is from 5:30 to 6:20. So whichever works best for me, I will keep in my shopping cart, whereas whichever doesn't work for me as much, I'm going to go ahead and delete. okay? So you should have a lecture and a lab. We know for a fact they're compatible. So we can go ahead and proceed to step 2 of 3. And then we're going to finish enrolling, okay? And just like that, the system will allow us to enroll in these 2 courses. Now, I'll quickly show you how to enroll in Psych 321, but you will notice it is the same concept. So we're going to search, make sure it's, the semester you want, make sure session says regular, subject / department, we're going to look up Psych. Check this box to show up in classes only. Quick search. Now, in this case, we're looking up Psych 321, assuming that I already completed Psych 320. And so for 321, these are our options. I'm going to pretend this top one works better for me. I'm going to go to the detail page. I'm going to go down here to notes. And look at that. We have 5 different options of labs. I'm going to write all of these numbers down because I want to explore all of my options, okay? So we have 7.5, 7.6, 7.7, 7.8, and 7.9. And look at that. It says right here, prerequisites, Psych 320 lecture and lab, okay? Co-requisite, the lab. So we'll return. We'll go ahead and click on the plus sign to add the lecture that we want to our shopping cart. And now we're going to go to enter class number and type in those class numbers, one at a time. Okay, so I'm going to start with the first set of 5-digit numbers. Okay, so here's the lab, but it is showing us the waitlist symbol. So this means this one's full. So we're going to move on to the next option. All right, this one's open. Okay, and so for the remainder of my time, I could potentially go ahead and continue to add the remaining options of labs and explore, which one works best for me, because again, these are offered at different times, okay? And from there, you choose which lab works best for you, you delete which one you don't want, and you proceed to step 2 of 3 and finish enrolling. And this is how you enroll in Psych 320 or 321, okay, depending on which one you need at the time. A few reasons why the system may not allow you to enroll in these courses. Maybe you're trying to enroll into the wrong lab. Maybe you're trying to enroll into a lecture or a lab or both with the little triangle symbol. Or maybe you have not earned 60 units or more, okay? So again, you cannot waitlist yourself in these courses. Therefore, if they are full for the next semester, plan to take them on another semester. If you are a graduating senior and you absolutely must complete these courses, it is important that you consult with your academic advisor, okay? But I hope this was helpful. If any questions come up, please reach out to your academic advisor. We are more than happy to support you and help you. Otherwise, this should be helpful in helping you enroll, okay? Bye-bye.